Hello students, this is your economics teacher INR. I hope you are well and utilizing the time wisely. In the previous class, you learned about the determinants of consumption function, investment function and the determinants of investment function. Today, you are going to learn about the relationship between rate of interest and the investment, marginal efficiency of capital, multiplier and marginal propensity to consume and multiplier. Please watch this video very carefully till the end. First, we will discuss the relationship between rate of interest and investment. Students, please take the page number 62. Relationship between rate of interest and investment. An explanation of how the rate of interest influences the level of investment in the economy. Typically, higher interest rate reduce investment because higher rates increase the cost of borrowing and require investment to have a higher rate of return to be profitable. As the real cost of borrowing rises, fewer investment projects are profitable. What is meant by real cost? Real cost is refers to the cost of producing a good or services, including the cost of all resources used and the cost of not employing those resources in alternative uses. See the diagram. In the diagram 4.5, amount of investment are shown along x-axis and the rate of interest are shown along y-axis. See the diagram. If the interest rate rises from 5% to 8%, then we will get a fall in the amount of investment from 100 crores to 80 crores. If the rate of interest are increased, then it will tend to discourage investment because the investment has a higher opportunity cost. Point 1. With higher rates, it is more expensive to borrow money from a bank. Second, saving money in a bank gives a higher rate of return. Therefore, using savings to finance investment has an opportunity cost of lower interest payments. If the interest rate rises, firms will need to gain a better rate of return to justify the cost of borrowing using savings. Second, you are going to learn about the marginal efficiency of capital. Students, take the page number 63. Marginal efficiency of capital. Marginal efficiency of capital was first introduced by J.M. Keynes in 1936 as an important determinant of autonomous investment. The marginal efficiency of capital is the expected profitability of an additional capital asset. It may be defined as the highest rate of return over cost expected from the additional units of capital asset. Meaning of marginal efficiency of capital. Marginal efficiency of capital is the rate of discount which makes the discounted present value of expected income stream equal to the cost of capital. Marginal efficiency of capital depends on two factors. First factor, the prospective yield from a capital asset. Second, the supply price of a capital asset. There are three factors affecting marginal efficiency of capital. First factor, the cost of the capital asset. Second, the expected rate of return from during its lifetime. Third, the market rate of interest. The marginal efficiency of capital is influenced by short run as well as long run factors. These factors are discussed in briefly. First, short run factors. First short run factors, demand for the product. If the market for a particular good is expected to grow and its costs are likely to fall, the rate of return from investment will be high. If entrepreneur expect a fall in demand for goods and a rise in cost, the investment will decline. Second short run factor, liquid asset. What is meant by liquid asset? A liquid asset is an asset that can be easily be converted into cash in a short amount of time. In other words, Liquid assets are often viewed as cash and likewise may be called cash equivalents because the owner is confident the assets can easily be exchanged for cash at any time. This paragraph, liquid assets. In short, if the entrepreneur are holding large volume of working capital, they can take advantage of the investment opportunities that come in their way. The marginal efficiency of capital will be high. Third, sudden change in income. The marginal efficiency of capital is also influenced by sudden changes in income of the entrepreneur. If the business community gets windfall profits or tax concession in the marginal efficiency of capital will be high and hence investment in the country will go up. On the other hand, marginal efficiency of capital falls with the decrease in income. Fourth short-run factor, current rate of investment or present rate of investment. Another factor which influences marginal efficiency of capital is the current rate of investment in a particular industry. If in a particular industry much investment has already taken place and the rate of investment currently going on in that industry is also very high, then the marginal efficiency of capital will be low. Fifth short-run factor, waves of optimism and pessimism. What is meant by optimism and pessimism? Optimism is when a person is more or likely to look at the positive in a situation. Pessimism is when a person is more likely to look at the negative in a situation. See the paragraph, waves of optimism and pessimism. The marginal efficiency of capital is also affected by waves of optimism and pessimism in the business cycle. If the businessmen are optimistic about the future, the marginal efficiency of capital will be likely to be high. During period of pessimism, the marginal efficiency of capital is underestimated and so will be low. Next, take the page number 64, long run factors. The long run factors which influence the marginal efficiency of capital are as follows. First, long run factors, rate of growth of population. Marginal efficiency of capital is also influenced by the rate of growth of population. If population is growing at a rapid speed, it is usually believed that the demand of various types of goods will increase. So a rapid rise in the growth of population will increase the marginal efficiency of capital and a slowing down in its rates of growth will discourage investment and thus reduce marginal efficiency of capital. Second long run factors, technological progress. If investment and technological development take place in the industry, the prospect of increase in the net yield tightens up. For example, the development of automobiles in 20th century has greatly stimulated the rubber industry, the steel industry and oil industry, etc. So we can say that invention and technological improvements encourage investment in various projects and increase marginal efficiency of capital. Third long run factors, monetary and fiscal policies. Cheap money policy. What is meant by cheap money policy? Cheap money policy denotes a phase in which loans are available at a low rate of interest. Cheap money policy is followed by a central bank during a period of depression to increase the supply of money so as to stimulate investment or marginal efficiency of capital. See the paragraph, monetary and fiscal policies. Cheap money policy and liberal tax policy pave the way for greater profit margin and so marginal efficiency of capital is likely to be high. Fourth long run factors, political environment. Political stability, smooth administration, maintenance of law and other help to improve marginal efficiency of capital. Fifth long run factor, resource availability. Cheap and abundant supply of natural resources efficient labors and stock of capital enhance or increase the marginal efficiency of capital. Next, marginal efficiency of investment. Marginal efficiency of investment is the expected rate of return on investment as additional units of investment are made under specified conditions and over a period of time. When cost of borrowing is high, business are less motivated to borrow money and make investment on different projects because high cost of borrowing reduces profit margin of the business firms. Differences between marginal efficiency of capital and marginal efficiency of investment. See the table. This table explains there are some differences between marginal efficiency of capital and marginal efficiency of investment. So first, it is based on a given supply price of capital. Right side, marginal efficiency of investment. It is based on the induced change in the price due to change in the demand for capital. Second point, it represents the rate of return on all successive units of capital without regard to existing capital. Marginal efficiency of investment shows the rate of return on just those units of capital over and above the existing capital stock. Third point, the capital stock is taken on the x-axis of diagram. Marginal efficiency of investment diagram, the amount of investment is taken on the x-axis of diagram. Fourth point, marginal efficiency of capital is a stock concept. What is meant by stock? Stock can be measured at a given point of time. Example, wealth is a stock. So, right side, marginal efficiency of investment is a flow concept. What is meant by flow? A flow is a quantity that can be measured only in terms of a specified period of time. Example, income is a flow. Fifth point, marginal efficiency of capital determines the optimum capital stock in an economy at each level of interest rate. Right side, marginal efficiency of investment determines the net investment of the economy at each interest rate given the capital stock. Thirdly, we will discuss multiplier. Student, take the page number 65. Multiplier. The concept of multiplier was first developed by R.F. Gaughan in terms of employment. J.M. Gaines redefined its investment multiplier. The multiplier is defined as the ratio of change in national income to change in investment. If delta I stands for increase in investment and delta Y stands for resultant increase in income, the multiplier K is equal to delta Y by delta I. Since delta Y results from delta I, the multiplier is called investment multiplier. In other words, the ultimate determinant of income and employment is the multiplier. Any increase in investment, increase in income, manifold due to multiplier effect. Thus, the concept of multiplier expresses the relationship between an initial investment and the final increment in the GNP. That is, the magnified and or amplified effects of initial investment on income is called as the multiplier effect. It is measured by the ratio of change in equilibrium income to change in expenditure. Multiplier or K is equal to change in equilibrium income divided by change in expenditure, or K is equal to delta Y by delta I, whereas delta Y means change in equilibrium income, delta I means change in expenditure. Assumptions of multiplier. Gaines' theory of multiplier works under certain assumptions which limit the operations of the multiplier. They are as follows. First assumption, there is change in autonomous investment. Second, there is no induced investment. Third, the marginal propensity to consume is constant. Fourth, consumption is a function of current income. Fifth, there are no time logs in the multiplier process. Sixth, consumer goods are available in response to effective demand for them. Seventh, there is a closed economy unaffected by foreign influences. Eighth, there are no changes in prices. Ninth, there is less than full employment level in the economy. Finally, you are going to learn about marginal propensity to consume and multiplier. Students, take the page number 65. Marginal propensity to consume and multiplier. The propensity to consume refers to the portion of income spent on consumption. The marginal propensity to consume refers to the relationship between change in consumption and change in income. Symbolically, MPC is equal to delta C by delta Y. The value of multiplier depends on MPC. Multiplier K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC. The multiplier is the reciprocal of 1 minus marginal propensity to consume. Since marginal propensity to save is 1 minus MPC. MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. Multiplier is 1 by MPS. The multiplier is therefore defined as reciprocal of MPS. Multiplier is inversely related to MPS and directly with MPC. Numerically, if MPC is 0.75, MPS is 0.25 and K is 4. Using formula, multiplier K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC. Here MPC is 0.75. So substitute 0.75. Therefore 1 by 1 minus 0.75 is equal to 1 by 0.25 is equal to 4. Students, take the page number 66. Here C is equal to 100 plus 0.8y. You are consider there are two investment, that is I is equal to 100 and I is equal to 10. First we will take I is equal to 100. So the equation is y is equal to C plus I. Given C is equal to 100 plus 0.8y and I is equal to 100. C and I values are substitutes in equation y is equal to C plus I. Given C is equal to 100 plus 0.8y, I is equal to 100. Therefore, y is equal to 100 plus 0.8y plus 100 is equal to 200 plus 0.8y. Student, shift the values of 0.8y in the right side of the equation, that is minus 0.8y is equal to 200. When MPS is equal to 1 minus MPC, so 1 minus 0.8y is equal to 200. 1 minus 0.8 is 0.2, so 0.2y is equal to 200. Y is equal to 200 by 0.2, therefore y is equal to 1000. Substitute y is equal to 1000 in equation C is equal to 100 plus 0.8y. C is equal to 100 plus 0.8 into 1000. C is equal to 100 plus 800. C is equal to 900. C is equal to 900. Substitute in equation I is equal to S is equal to Y minus C. Therefore, I is equal to S is equal to income 1000 minus consumption 900. So, investment is equal to saving is equal to 100. After investment is raised by 10. Now, I is equal to 100 plus 10 is equal to 110. Therefore, Y is equal to 100 plus 0.8y plus 110. Y is equal to 210 plus 0.8y. Similarly, 0.2y is equal to 210. Y is equal to 210 by 0.2. Y is equal to 1050. Substitute y is equal to 1050 in equation C is equal to 100 plus 0.8y. C is equal to 100 plus 0.8 into 1050. C is equal to 100 plus 840. C is equal to 940. C is equal to 940. Substitute in equation I is equal to S is equal to Y minus C. Therefore, I is equal to S is equal to 1050 minus 940. I is equal to S is equal to 110. Diagrammatic explanation. At the 45-degree line, Y is equal to C plus S. It implies the variables in axis and axis are equal. The MPC is assumed to be at 0.8, that is C is equal to 100 plus 0.8 Y. The aggregate demand C plus I curve intersect 45-degree line at point E. The original national income is 500. C is equal to 100 plus 0.8Y is equal to 100 plus 0.8 into 500. 100 plus 400 is equal to 500. When I is 100, Y is 1000, C is equal to 900, S is equal to 100 is equal to I. The new aggregate demand curve is C plus I dash is equal to 100 plus 0.8Y plus 100 plus 10. Y is equal to 210 by 0.2 is equal to 1050. C is equal to 940. S is equal to 110 and I also 110. That's all for today. We will continue in the next class. Finish the assignment by clicking the link below.